We have James Davis. James, I'll slide the microphone on over to you if you would. So now you are artistic director, first year at this?
Executive producer. And the only reason I clarify is because I am not a director. I am a lighting designer and technician. So I made sure that I wasn't falsely giving anybody the wrong idea of what I do. Because directors are a different skill set, and I did bring the director of this show, Ryan Showboat, with me. But yeah, this is my first year of being fully in charge of all the things. Usually my responsibilities were split. I was the executive director the last couple years with the former artistic director, James Beaudry. And then when Maddie was here, I was his general manager. So yeah, I've been here this is my 13th year here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Dave Vickers, of course, has always did the program in the past. So
That's
Dave,
right, yeah.
He's now retired for whatever reason. He decided he needed to retire.
Well deserved, I'm sure.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, we'll go with that. So when you're not in Clinton, what are you doing, James?
I am a professor of lighting and sound / stage management at Kansas State University.
Okay.
So
Great to have you back in town.
Yeah. I met my wife here, actually.
Well,
So I'm here
better.
all the time.
Well, that's even better.
Jordan Hurl, Brad Hurl is her dad.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm sure a lot of your listeners go to him for their physical therapy needs.
As well they should.
Yeah. Just to do a shameless plug for his business, I guess.
Also in studio with us, Ryan Showboat. So you are the director.
Yes.
How did you end up coming to Clinton to direct this?
So I know James Davis and one of the other people that work for the Showboat, Ted Askeland, and they were kind enough to ask me to come on board this summer and direct this show. And then I also get to stay afterwards, and I get to perform in Young Frankenstein, which will be a lot of fun.
So let's find out a little bit about you, your background in theater.
Sure. I've been involved in theater since I was in high school. I was an actor professionally in New York City for a while, but now I teach at West Virginia University. I'm the head of musical theater there.
So it seems like people involved with theater also get themselves involved with teaching. Jay Burkow, of course, one of your instructors in Aya. So how does this come about?
Part of being a professor is continuous immersion in the field, making sure that you know the trends and what's happening. And so often during the summer, after we're done teaching, we go out into professional communities and work as directors, as actors, just so we're bringing the best information to our students each year and kind of making sure that we know what we're talking about.
So kind of two different worlds there, but they kind of intertwine.
Yeah, and I think, all of us as actors have had amazing arts educators, and so I think for a lot of theater people, giving back to that community and teaching is something that's really important to a lot of us, and I know is true for me. So I really love being a teacher, but also continuing being a performer, being a director, and flexing that creative side.
What shows are you going to be performing in?
I'm going to be in Young Frankenstein, but then sadly I will be leaving after that.
Okay.
But they will be doing some amazing shows after Young Frank.
What do you enjoy about community theater?
I think it's a great chance for me especially, to kind of get to know different communities. I have never been to Iowa before, so this is my very first time. So it's great to kind of see the local community and the culture and just kind of explore something different than what I'm used to.
Had you ever seen the Mississippi before?
I had seen it. I used to live in Fargo, North Dakota, and I would go over to Minneapolis. So I would see it at up there in Minneapolis, but not this part of the Mississippi.
And you guys got a lot closer look at the Mississippi not too long ago.
Oh, yes. And we get a look every single day as we drive over from Illinois to Iowa for a rehearsal.
Okay, we'll talk more to you about the direction of the show,
Sure.
but let's bring in Anaya Thompson. Anaya, your background.
So I'm from Normal, Illinois. I am a rising junior at Western Michigan University studying music theater performance. I've been performing since I was very, very, very little. I've always had a bit of a music bone in my body, so I've always loved to perform and to sing and share that with other people.
And is it part of your family, or you've broken away from everybody else to do this?
My dad was a musician, and my grandfather's a musician, so it's kind of gone down that way. It's funny because my mom, she can't sing for her life, bless her, but she tries her darndest. But yeah, I have a younger sister, and I'm helping her get into music and dance and all those other things. So music's been a very big part of my life.
When you were in high school, were there productions that you were able to participate in?
Yes, so I went to Normal Community High School, and there we had mostly we did plays, and then we'd have a musical every single year. So we did musicals like Shrek, I was the dragon. We did High School Musical, I was Sharpay. But my very first play that I ever did was actually Steel Magnolias. And that was my freshman year. I was the only freshman in that show, which was a bit stressful working with the juniors and seniors. But I was Weezer Boudreaux, and that was such an amazing show. So I definitely credit a lot of my, acting abilities to my high school.
My wife sang in church. I would imagine you also sang in church.
Yes, I did. Growing up, sang in the church with my granddad. He's a deacon, so sang a lot with him, and yeah, definitely sang a lot in the church.
So how did you end up at the university you're at now?
So I went to the Illinois High School Theater Fest, and I auditioned for a lot of different schools there because I actually hadn't planned on majoring in music to start. But after going through the audition process, I went to another university, but always had Western in the back of my mind, and then realized a couple months in that I was like, okay, I know what I actually need to do, what I want to do, what I feel called to do, and that's to be a musical theater major at Western. And so I just love, the program. It's a very immersive program, so I love getting to work in all aspects rather than, I'm only singing here and I'm only acting. It's everything all at once.
So what's your summer look like aboard the theater?
So this summer, I actually just finished a contract in Illinois at Timberlake Playhouse doing The Lightning Thief. I revived a role that we did at Western in August. I was Mr. D in Hades in that show. And then right now in the Leading Ladies Cabaret, I'm Woman 2. So we're doing that. And then looking forward into the summer, I'll be Young Frankenstein in the ensemble. I'll be Marie, or the fairy godmother, in Cinderella. And then I'll be Pearl in SpongeBob the Musical.
So when you're in school, is it just one or two productions over the course of a school year, and then here you get thrown into the summer and it's boom, boom, boom every 2 weeks?
Yeah, so at Western we're not having as many shows this semester coming up as we usually do. We're just having our 3 shows, but it's usually a good number of shows that we have. So once the fall comes, I'll be in a show called Intimate Apparel, which is a play, and I'll be Mrs. Dixon in that. And then usually what we do is you'll be in one show in the fall and then one show in the spring. But we also have things called like practicum credits where you can work tech on a show, and so you're still getting the experience of working with and being a part of that production even if you're not on the stage, which is quite valuable information to have. It gives you a new appreciation for all of the theater, not just being on stage. So I thoroughly enjoy doing practicum credits and being able to help on the other side as well.
Getting caught up with the Clinton area Showboat Theater again, we got Ryan Scoble, Anaya Thompson, and James Davis in with us. James, I want to throw it back to you just real quick. Anaya mentioned that she was just up at Timberlake, and we've got the 2 theaters so close to each other. Is there collaboration between the 2 of you?
On occasion. So on occasion we'll do trading of tickets, right? So their company will come over and see our shows for free essentially, and we'll get to go over there and see their shows for free. Sometimes we might need a specific prop or scenic item, and we'll borrow from them. Like when we did the pandemic season for the first 2 shows outside, we borrowed a lot of their folding chairs to make sure that we had enough for everybody. So they helped us out there. And then we, and that reminds me, I think they still have it. They have our hospital gurney for a show they did last year. So yeah, there's some collaboration there. As far as like doing production specific related things like sharing a show between the 2 of us, no, we haven't really done anything like that I know of in my time here. But you never know what the future holds.
I'm going up Friday to see Grease. You want me to pick up that hospital gurney for you?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, I can do that for you. Ryan, just want to bring you in real quick. And I mentioned the fact that, playing different roles. My background is more athletics, and I know individuals try out for different positions. How does an actor try out for a role that they might want?
It always looks different. Now that we are post-COVID, a lot of actors do these things called self-tapes, where we kind of not only have to be a great actor, but we also have to be a technician, a set designer, a lighting designer, and a sound designer, and do all of our own production. So we're kind of putting together this package audition that you send to people digitally. So it's nice because you can make yourself more available for more opportunities. But it was definitely a pivot that I think a lot of us had to do during the pandemic of how do I learn to do all these things and do it well so that my material looks as good as it needs to.
So it is a competition.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's definitely, a lot of people that want to be actors and only a couple places to be them. But I think the theater community, though it could be very competitive, is often very friendly through that process, which is great.
Anaya, let's swing the microphone back over to you. Leading Ladies, tell us about this.
Yeah, so Leading Ladies Cabaret is me and 3 other girls, so 4 of us total. We're singing all of the musical theater favorites of, the strong, powerful women in theater. So we're singing songs like, one of my songs is "And I'm Telling You I'm Not Going," from Dreamgirls. We're doing "On My Own" from Les Mis. A bunch of other just beautiful songs. And we're all just, doing some group numbers as well. It's a very beautiful show that we've worked very hard to pull together. So I hope that people can come and appreciate the work that we're putting on stage.
Who are the other girls with you up on stage?
So Olivia Sauerberg, Reese Henrik, and Jesse Grimaldo.
How do your voices blend together?
Quite nicely. Yeah, which is surprising because, we hadn't auditioned at the same time. We didn't audition as a girl group or anything like that. So it was well picked out which voices would blend well together, and we work quite well together as well.
All right, very good. And talk about directing something like this.
It's different than a traditional show. It's just there are 19 solo songs and 4 group numbers kind of weaved together. But it's pretty fast-paced. We move along quickly. It's an hour and 20 minutes, but it feels shorter than that. It's a journey through golden age musical theater, more contemporary musical theater. As Anaya said, really strong, powerful leading ladies, and their voices are just incredible. So you're going to want to see it.
Again, I don't have a theater background, and hopefully I'm using the right term. But
Sure.
How do you block something like this? Did I use the right term?
Yeah,
You
so it's
did,
great.
yeah. So some of our group numbers have a little bit more like choreography and staging, and so that's often something that I come into the room with a general plan for, and then we just kind of see how it works out. But there are often wonderful suggestions, and I gave us a couple of suggestions that we definitely took, and we're like, oh, that looks even better than what we thought. And then for the solos, a lot of it is up to the actor and their impulses, and just letting them follow that, and then putting a shape to it. A lot of my work was carving out where do you enter and where do you exit, and they did the rest.
Let's talk about that, Anaya. I mean, trying to make things individual for you.
I mean, you really you make whatever song you're doing your own. I just put myself in the position of the character, and you see yourself in their world. And I really like to analyze the lyrics that I'm singing, because, everything you need to know is right there laid out for you. So I feel like that's how I personalize everything, is just reading into the lyrics and truly thinking, okay, so where am I? Who am I? What do I want? And where do I plan on going next?
Again, appreciate all of you coming in, and James, we're going to wrap things up with you because the season is just getting underway, but you're going to be opening up about the same time finally. Friday's going on, and
That's right.
this other music festival that's going to be down there on the riverfront. So how's this going to work for your first show?
So the first show, it's an hour and 20 minutes of pure entertainment. I was sitting back there last night, just taking it in, and these girls really can't sing. So you want to come get your tickets. You don't want to miss it. We're only doing 4 performances of this because of all the events happening down there in the river, which is great because they'll see the iconic boat, and if anything, they'll be like, I wonder what they do there. So some random publicity, I guess, right? But because of all those events, we have 4 shows happening tonight. We take a break briefly for Finally Fridays so that peeps can enjoy that. Plus, we don't want to compete with the noise. We want people to have a good time. And then Saturday we'll be back for performance then, and then we have our matinee on Sunday. And then we take almost a week hiatus for all this lovely Tall Gates and Tail Boys Festival, which I am really looking forward to seeing. I've heard a lot of hype since last summer about it when we were talking to the mayor about how this was going to sort of affect our season when we were planning it. And I'm really excited to see what kind of... I hear Tim McGraw is going to be here.
Yes.
And I can't remember the other person.
Gabby Barrett's going to be one of them, but
Yeah.
Jelly Roll.
Yeah,
I think
Jelly
he's
Roll, that's the
he's
person.
the big one.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the big name, right?
So I'm really excited to see that. But because of that, we won't be back until Sunday the 11th. That will be the last time you get a chance to see Leading Ladies. And that one will be a matinee as well. So.
And we'll have you back on June 15th. It'll be opening for Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein again.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you all this season. And again, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
Please don't rip the